So this is video number 3. It's taken a big bit of a jump. I didn't know when I was going to take a video. I kind of forgot and got caught up in everything and then realised I hadn't done a video in a while. So here's the progress of what's going on. I've studied most of it. There's a couple of little niggles that I need to sort out. I've done the damp-proof membrane on the walls, on 3 of the walls. I'll show you the other end in a second once I've explained what's going on. I've done around the window, with the windowsill and everything, down around the door and everything. So it's pretty far on. I learnt a lot because the roof isn't straight. So one side's higher than the other. So all I've done is I've done everything square, and then all I'm going to do is fix the spaces, issues, whatever you want to call it, that are going on. So, but it's all gone pretty well. The other end of the room though is basically a false wall, stud wall, right? My plan is, now that I've done the stud work, is to put 2 and a bit sheets of 18mm OSB on the back of this, as well as a damp-proof membrane to try and seal it. And I'm going to attach the top of the OSB board to the joist board. So I'm going to take this whole stud wall out, and then I'm going to attach the 2 boards, and then I'm going to rip and cut another section off the 3rd board, put it up, fit it snug against from the walls, and then put this bit back in, and then put the side bits back in. I might actually leave the side bits in, so I'm just slotting the other bit in, and then fix it all so it then becomes solid, so it all supports itself. And then I'm going to use a sealant to seal the edges against the wall. But the OSB will be on the other side, and I'm going to make it slightly too big as well, and then I'm going to seal it to the sides and the roof and the floor as well. And what I'm hoping is that gives it the OSB on the back, so it's going to be solid. Nothing's going to damage it. It's going to be solid against the stud. The stud will be fixed into the ground, which is fine, and it'll all be sealed as well. And then that's the next bit stage I come to. I did the video because tomorrow my first start of my flooring comes. So as you can see, I'm still just got a painted floor. So what I've done is I've just measured what the difference is between the floor and the top of the door. It's about 8.5 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is I've got 50mm of insulation. I'm going to go with insulation board, and then I've got another set of OSB boards that are going to come in tongue and groove OSB boards that are going to sit on top of it, and that'll create my insulation and then my board level on my floor. And then I'm just going to do the standard, tape the insulation, and then PVA glue and screw the OSB board down and round the edges, so it's all done. And again, it's about 2 and a bit boards. It's quite annoying because it's 2 and a tiny bit, but that's the way it is. And I'm going to try and do it so that we don't do it all straight. I've been watching a lot of videos on it so that you don't just put like 2 boards, 2 boards, 2 boards. You do 1, and then the first one in the next row, rip a half so that the lines don't match up, so that it's stronger. And then it means it'll do okay. But the room's about 7 meters, so it's about just under 3 boards length, which is quite good as well. So it's not too many. And then go for there. This week I'm going to try and get the electrician to come out. It might be even into next week if I'm doing the flooring. We'll see when we both can do it. And that kind of gets, so before I do any insulation on the walls and on the roof, I'm going to get the electrician to come out and look at what's going on. My problem, it's not a problem, but is I've got these pillars, and there's So there's a pillar here, pillar here, pillar here, pillar here. I can kind of ignore the pillars down this end if I want to, but the problem is the power is going to come in over this way, and the consumer unit is going to be on this back wall somewhere around here, which means then the power then needs to run down the room and round. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get them to run the power over and through the roof, and then that means it just needs to go down the room and then across and down the room, and it's easier probably to create a ring than having to try and pass it through the room and then over these pillars and then back down. I think if you just do it all through the roof and try and just space it all out, I think it'll be a lot easier. But we'll see what he says. Watch this space. In 2 or 3 weeks' time, you'll get a video and it'll be completely different because I don't have a clue about electrics. Well, you never know. I've watched enough videos. But yeah, so that's the stage we're at. It's come quite far. I think the next couple of steps are the big ones, because once the floor's in and this wall is done, I think it then just becomes insulation, electrics, and then it's plasterboard, which is quite scary, on top of that, and then second fixing electrics and all these kind of things to put in lights and plugs and all that kind of stuff. And then from there, I've got a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm trying to plan before I decorate. I'm not going to decorate straight away. I'm going to mark out a lot of stuff and mark out where I'm going to do acoustic panels. I'm definitely going to do acoustic panels in the front wall corners, maybe the back wall corners over my shoulder. And then I'm going to put one big ceiling tile over here. Some people call it an island. And then I've got to work out, do I need 6 in the room or 8 in the room? And then the other thing is I've got a really narrow room, so I can't really put thick acoustic panels on the walls for first reflection stuff and everything. So I've been looking at how do you treat walls but don't use wide panels, which isn't easy because I want to be able to push my speakers out quite far but not too close to the wall. But if I have a wall treatment, for example, here with a speaker off the back wall, but here and that's that, then I don't want the speaker pushed into the room. I want the speaker to be not straight against the wall, but like quite far out, so it gives a width for stereo imaging and stuff. So we'll see. I don't know. It's gonna be but that's down the line. It might just mean that I put some sort of flat treatment on the wall and don't do big panels and only do big panels on the roof at the front and probably the back of the room, because the back of the room is going to be set up like a kind of studio office, like behind this door. So if you see, I've got about maybe not as much as 2 meters, 2.4, but close to it. And I'm going to make this into a big desk or an L-shaped desk with a chair. I'm going to put little monitors down the wall. I'm going to treat this wall, and I'm going to put an acoustic island panel above my head as well, so I can sit and listen and go from there. And then and treat the back wall as well, so that when I'm in this space, it sounds decent and I can just listen to there. And then somewhere in the middle of this, I've got to work out how I wire all my computer stuff here down this wall and through to this wall where I'm going to have a big TV and my speakers and stuff like that. I've got to decide, do I put my stereo at the back and just run speaker cable, or do I run a signal cable and put my stereo at the front with it? But that means then when I'm using it as a living room, my kids or anyone who comes in here is going to be in the way of me having my stereo. So I quite like the idea of my stereo being at the back with my computer equipment, and all it is my speaker cable that runs. But we'll see. That's a bit of a chatty rant. Okay. Hope that made sense. Probably doesn't really matter. You've seen what I've done. You've seen how badly it's going, or well, we'll see. The next couple will be real interesting. Right, see you later. Bye.